I could look at moments in my life where I had nothing and I was just as happy as if now when I'm very happy. And it's like, because you realize that like, this is not the shit, the money is not what makes you happy. Like, it's the process, it's the parts of it, it's the people you meet, it's the conversations you have.
This is Entrepreneurs, the Playbook, where I give you access each week to the world's greatest athletes and executives about their personal and professional playbook and what has made them champions on and off the field. This is the Playbook. This is Dave Meltzer, CEO of Sports One Marketing with Entrepreneur, the Playbook, and I am here with Bradley Martyn. And I got your name right.
Yes, thank you.
I'm the name butcher. These guys are all laughing.
You butcher everyone else's names?
Yeah, well, anything that's remotely familiar, like Brad Hartman's my producer,
Okay.
so I was worried I'd call you Brad Hartman, but Brad Martyn, and you know, we're here at the Zoo Culture, right?
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
this
sir.
is the Casting Culture, your podcast studio,
Yeah.
which is killing it, Culture Cast.
Yes, sir.
And we were just talking about podcast.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting because I believe in a philosophy of illumination. And what my podcast has allowed me to do is illuminate all the issues that I have so that other people feel comfortable that life is not perfect, and neither are we. What does your podcast allow you to do as a platform?
Man, okay, so for me, it's the podcast is like the last thing I started doing. So CultureCast was to be the last thing I started doing as far as like on the other socials. So I started on Instagram. Well, really, I started on Twitter back in 2008, and then Instagram came out, started like first day that came out, 2010. Done Facebook alongside of that, and then I started to do YouTube in the last 5 years. But CultureCast, the podcast, has been the last thing that I started doing, and honestly, it came after like years of, like I was talking to you before we got on, of like the crazy jumps, the crazy like lifting feats, the crazy like Instagram viral like type videos, jumping out of a pool, doing
Trick
all this,
shots.
yeah, all the stuff, and was like, wow. And then I noticed that as I started progressing in like my career, which is funny, it's weird to say my career because it's like the internet, life and the internet and sharing it, like you said. I noticed that the people who really supported me whenever I would go to events or go to places and meet people, they would talk about the things, it was way more about the things that I said and how it impacted them in their lives than like, oh, you lifted the crazy weight, that's why I'm here. It was like, you did this video and it changed my life, or you did this video and then I was gonna kill myself and I saw this, or
It's crazy, right?
yeah. So then I noticed like the podcast has become like a platform where it is just this. It's just conversation about like where I've been, what I'm going through, what I've gone through, how I went through it, and at least on my podcast is I'll just bring guests and we just kind of talk about the same things for them. Like, so it'd be like a guest and like how they got to where they at, like not just like the steps they took, but like the things they went through. Because like I think it's easy to like look at people who have a bunch of stuff, like if I have a gym or I got muscles or I got all this stuff, you might be like, oh man, this guy has it all, without, like there's so much more behind.
Right.
And I just got better at sharing that. And so the podcast has been like a platform where it's just like long format, like just really talking about diving into that.
Yeah, it's interesting because when I built my brand, you know, after representing Troy Aikman, Warren Moon, Steve Young, you know, being the CEO of Leigh Steinberg,
Yeah.
all of a sudden it was my life, and like, it was like the oddest things, right? My dad leaving, growing up as a single mom, going bankrupt, like I lost over $100 million, all these things, that's what people were interested in. They didn't care about the awards, the success, you know, like the Jerry Maguire BS stuff.
Yeah.
One of the things I noticed doing due diligence on you is you have an extraordinary awareness. And I always tell people, if I can give you one gift, I'd like to give you a higher vibration and awareness, so you just see things differently. And as you talk through the progression of your social media platforms, you were early in everything. You're like, I was on this on the first day and this on the first day.
Okay, yeah.
What do you think allows you to have a different type? Because there's a million guys like you, right?
Yeah.
But there's not, because of your awareness. You're just in it, and not only to win it, but you have an awareness about it. What do you think is one of the catalysts to your awareness?
Oh man, this is the emotional one. It's like you said about, so, oh shit.
That's all right, I'm a crier.
Can I swear on
Yes,
this or
you
no?
can
Okay.
swear. You can swear. I cry, you can swear.
I'm gonna try not to. I feel like I've done it too many times. So I grew up without a father. I grew up without a father at 6 years old, and I think that was the biggest moment in my life where it made me realize like, oh, this shit's real. Because it's like, it's one thing to be like your mom tell you, okay, your dad's not coming back, and then initially you're like, what does that mean? What do you? Because everything prior to that was like you got hurt. Like if I hurt myself and I wasn't hurt like 2 weeks later, or I got a scratch and then it healed. there was things that would happen, or like, you know, I
Wasn't
get in like
permanent.
a little fight with a kid, and then and then but when you hear like at 6 years old, this is it, and you're like, okay, like no, he'll be back next week, and then coming to that realization like early on, like no, fuck. I think that, I mean, I know that was it, without a doubt. That was the thing. Oh shit.
That's all right.
That was the thing that got me to realize, like, okay, what do I want to do with my life? And I think, I remember being a kid, I remember being super young, like, ever since then, and like going to school and like, kind of almost felt like I was always kind of going through motions, just doing things because like I knew I was supposed to do them. And in the back of my mind, I was constantly consumed with this idea of like, what is my life supposed to be? Why am I here? Like, am I gonna end up like my dad? Like all these thoughts of like, just like weird self like viewing, looking into myself. And it just, I remember being a young kid and thinking like, do all kids think like, are all these other kids going to school with me? Are they thinking about themselves?
Right.
Like and in my mind, I was like, this can't be normal. But I was thinking like that as a child. It's almost like, it's weird. It's like, I look where I'm at now, and it's like, it's almost as if someone like my age was like on the outside looking into a younger kid and being like, yo, what do you, and I just said, I got to a point where I guess I mean, I know I've like developed anxiety and shit from it, but it's definitely now that whole catalyst in my life has become the thing that has also like given me all my gifts.
Right.
So it's like, as much as all that sucked, I realized that like without that happening, and as shitty as it is and as shitty as it could be for anybody, and in different, it doesn't have to be that age, any age, I realized that like that was the thing that gave me all my perspective. You just put life in like, okay, there's a beginning, there's an end. What am I gonna make out of my life? And it made me want to like, to be a person that people can be like, oh wow, I got some inspiration, some love, something good from that person. And then that was the thing that as I started to progress on social media, was the thing that was giving me fulfillment. And I was just like, man, this is, because I had times in my life, of course, I've had times in my life, I was struggling, right? No money, like lived in my car, had to stop going to school because I couldn't keep paying the tuition, like, and then now times where it's like, life's amazing. And
I'll interrupt you because my biggest I have 4 kids, right? And I've had a lot of suck in my life. And including, you know, even losing my father.
I want kids so bad.
I highly suggest it, man.
Yeah.
Find the right woman, but yes, have kids. But, you know, at 50 years old, my dad passed last year at 80. And you would think, like, it would have no effect on me. But, like, literally, I'm still processing it a year later going, I couldn't imagine. And the difference is, someone gave me a gift about my father. They said, Dave, if I asked you a question and asked you to answer it like your father would, could you do that? And I'm like, yeah, of course, right? Because I'm 50 and I've known my father a long time. But like at 6, right? That's why you're still energetically processing, emotionally. And I couldn't even imagine. But you talked about, you know, this idea of suck. And this is my challenge as a parent. My life doesn't suck anymore. Right? I've had all this suck in my life that gave me unexpected opportunity. And I can feel that with you, right? Your suck gave you unexpected opportunity and you took advantage of it, but you deserve it. So my thing is, I try to empower my kids, right? You know, I discipline them. I don't give them everything, but they really don't have any suck, you know, in their life. Like that really I've seen I've dealt with all these professional athletes and high net wealth individuals, and, you know, all of them have some sort of thing that was a catalyst, like we've shared, to really, when things get shitty, like there's this perspective like, that's nothing.
Right, because if I've gone through that, I can go through anything.
Right. Yeah. And you know it's only gonna get better. No, you have anxiety though, which I found really weird that you still, you know, suffer and struggle with anxiety because you meditate, you meditate, right?
Yeah.
You work out all the time, your nutrition is exceptional. Yeah. And at least my understanding, like I try to coach, you know, a lot of business coaching, and a lot of people have anxiety being entrepreneurs and financial anxiety and all this. I'm saying, go back to center, meditate, do all this. Why do you think, with all the things that you're doing right, that you still have that genetic activation of anxiety that's occurring?
I think anxiety is a thing that I've had for a long time. I think it's only more recently that I've realized that it is anxiety. But anxiety, I feel like, because it was from that point of my father's passing, obviously not right after, but it gave me this like sense of urgency of like, I'm gonna die. And I've kind of become afraid of death in a sense. And that's something that I'm really trying to get past because I know it's inevitable. But that same thing is the thing that, it's not so much, maybe not so much of a fear of losing or not having. I know that's part of it, but it's also not being able to do enough. So the anxiety is me being like, there's more that I need to do with my life. I haven't done it yet sometimes, and I get stressed out about that. Like there's more that I have to say, there's more that I want to do, there's more people that I want to reach. And that's a part of the anxiety, not just like, oh, I'm financial, I'm gonna lose. Yeah, that's a part of it, it's a stress. Yeah. But I mean, like I said, I could look at moments in my life where I had nothing and I was just as happy as if now when I'm very happy. And it's like, because you realize that like, this is not the shit, the money is not what makes you happy. Like it's the process, it's the parts of it, it's the people you meet, it's the conversations you have. So my part of my anxiety is I need to have more of those conversations, even like this. Like I want to share more of this with people. I want this to reach more people. So part of the anxiety is like me being able to do enough. Almost like time, knowing that time is every day. And that's kind of giving me that sense of urgency to always like be on these social media platforms straight away, knowing like I knew they were coming out before, because I remember I used to read about this stuff because I always felt like I wanted to do more, I just didn't know how. So I was like, I'd read about social media and it was going to change the world, and then I got it, and it fucking did.
And now you're changing the role.
I mean, I hope so.
No, you are. No, I'll give you my definition after, I'm older than you, I had the same issue. And I came up with my happiness because when I had nothing, 6 kids, single mom, backseat of a station wagon at night, eating peanut butter and jelly with food stamps, I was happy. In fact, the only reason I wanted to be rich was I'd catch my mom crying because something broke down or she couldn't afford a summer camp. And in my mind, I'm like, dude, if I'm rich, I can buy my mom a house and a car, and then that works, right? And everything will be happy. And that's what drove me to be a millionaire, months after law school, and a multi-millionaire in my 30s. That's what drove me, but it also left me empty. Yeah. But I came up with this: happiness is the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit, enjoyment of the pursuit of my potential. And whatever that
That's like what I just said, just in better words. Way clearer.
And that's why I want to give it to you. Because that freed me of attaching time to some outcome. Like, I stopped being afraid of death, because I had the same problem. I was afraid of death. Now I just don't want it to come. Right? Yeah. I'm not ready for it. Of course. I'm not afraid of it anymore, but I'm not ready for it. And in fact, I constantly tell myself, I was born on January 11th, so I tell everyone I'm going to die at 111 on January 11th.
Okay.
Exactly, right? And then Diane Cannon, who I share my Lakers seats with, she's like, why are you limiting yourself? Because she's like 80, super hot and young, So going forward with just the anxiety stuff, how do you share? Well, first I want to ask, is it okay if I ask you how your dad passed? Because I know, but a lot of the entrepreneur people don't, right? Your followers do. Is it something that you share?
Yeah. So my father, he hung himself. Yeah, he hung himself in the garage, basically.
And was it ever a fear for you, with a lot of people, that you'd end up not being that unhappy?
Was it a fear for me to end up not being that happy?
Yeah, like to take your own life.
Yeah, not so much now. I think early on I used to think about it, not taking my own life, but like, am I going to be there? Cause you think a lot of times, like, as I've gotten older, you learn about genetics and you learn about stuff and you're like, oh, is this a part of, because my dad had like severe clinical depression, like where I guess they had done some tests on him, and he basically like has, zero not producing anything. He just completely, and he wasn't taking medication for it. So like, that's obviously, I mean, it could have been due to other things that he was involving himself in, but that's a part of a genetic thing. So I remember I was like, started to learn about stuff like that, like probably in like early, biology stuff. I was like, oh shit, like you learn about parents and genetics and chromosomes and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh shit. That's when I started thinking like, am I gonna end up like that? So then I think as I've got closer to like his age when he passed, his 30s, I think I've been like, fuck. And I thought about it more, but I mean, I got so much more to do.
Yeah, I love that.
Much more to do.
I love that. That's the pursuit of your potential, right? Yeah. So serotonin's interesting for people that don't know that's the chemistry that creates happiness.
Yeah, it's serotonin creating dopamine, and Serotonin is also, yeah.
And working out provides that, and your nutrition provides that.
Helps increase it.
One of the things that I've learned to change my life was giving, right? And it was through studying that giving releases serotonin in your brain when you give, and when someone receives, serotonin's released. And this applies to you, which is why the anomaly to me is so extraordinary, is that your whole vision and pursuit of life is to like literally give to everybody to help them. Like that's why you love these platforms. I mean, you super duper, and everyone that witnesses giving, like everyone that witnesses this giving that we're empowering people with, serotonin is released from witnessing giving. And so you're actually...
It's like a chain effect.
Yeah, it's almost like, the universe has provided you as the catalyst solution to solving the problem, the chemical problem that existed in your dad, and in essence, saving your legacy and your name and your own genetics.
Yeah.
Right? It's like this stuff that blows my mind.
Yeah, and it always gets me the hardest when like people will come and I'll get messages even and people be like, oh, I was legit like, at my house and I felt this is going on in my life and I was thinking about taking my life. I'll get a message like that and be like, I found this video and I didn't do it. Like I haven't had that like once. I've had that like
many times.
100, 200, like, and that's a lot to think like, damn, all these people are really going through all this stuff. And then that even pushes me further to be like, I want to speak more, I want to talk more, because
you should.
I mean, this is like, I think suicide is like, it's just such a permanent
thing. It's growing in all different ages that people don't even realize it. I went to Michigan, I was learning how to speak, so I spoke at 100 different places in a year with young Bradley, teaching him how to be a PR guy. So that's where my content started.
It's a great name, by the way.
Yeah, almost Martyn too. So, but I go to Michigan, and this kid waits in line for book signing. Last guy in line, I look up and tears just start flying. And he's like, Mr. Meltzer, he goes, I don't even know why I came. He goes, but something told me I should come. I don't know who you are. And he goes, and just bawling, going, I was in my room, I wanted to kill myself, right? And I was like, that moment to me, same way as you, right? I'm like, wait a second, I'm doing something much bigger here, a higher purpose here. Right, than making money, writing books, speaking, ego-based bullshit. Like, I actually can impact. That was just my first life, and then so many people are like, I don't know why I came, right? I don't know why I listened. I never heard, because our names aren't household names, right? In the industry we're in this platform, it's a niche, and a few million people is nothing compared to 4 billion.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And you could walk the streets, and I can walk the streets, and we're not Warren Moon. Right? People aren't taking our pictures at breakfast. No. And I've lived with those people, and it sucks.
Unless I go to like a gym breakfast
right,
place.
Exactly. Right, I go to a sports agent, I go to a bar association, they go, it's Jerry Maguire. But you get it. Yeah. But literally, the impact that you can have, and you will have, and you're only 30, right? And it's gonna grow, and with your purpose, it's extraordinary what you can do as long as you stay focused on that. And I would use that to harbor this idea of I have nothing, everything comes in the right way at the perfect time, because I think time to you creates anxiety.
Yeah.
And I think
it's funny because I've already experienced so much of that.
Yeah.
That when I look back on my life, I'm like all these amazing opportunities and things came into my life at the perfect time. And it's hard for me sometimes, like, why can't I focus and be like, well, this is like, I've had years of proof that it's gonna be okay. I think a lot of people have that or go through that, but I don't think they're as aware of it. Like that, there's a lot of like things that come, and I think people just miss certain opportunities, miss certain like conversations or things that they really should have paid attention to. Right. And I look back on my life, I'm like, I had a ton of them.
That's your awareness. Like, it just increased your vibration, because you only can be aware of that which vibrates equal to or less than you, right? And so you're positively increasing your own cellular vibration, your mental vibration, your thoughts, because the earth vibrates the slowest, plants, animals, humans, sound, light, and then thought. And the thought that vibrates the fastest is the truth. So you're seeking the truth to share the truth, elevating your vibration, making you more aware of stuff that other people can't see. Which leads me to a pragmatic question.
Go ahead.
So, I got a great TV show, 40 million viewers, and podcasts, millions of viewers, and all this. Instagram's great. But I just started using YouTube. And you have a great YouTube following.
YouTube is so difficult.
Yeah. So
oh, God.
What advice? I always ask guys, like, what advice would you give a 50-year-old guy who he thinks has good content, it resonates everywhere else? What advice would you give me to build my YouTube audience?
Legit, the same advice I'd give anyone else. Because people ask me that all the time. They say, oh, what I want to do this, I want to do what you're doing, or do a different thing of it. Dude, the thing with like, and all platforms are like this. They're uncontrollable to you and I. YouTube controls it. Whatever platform is on, they're controlling it. And whatever agenda they have will always change. So YouTube, in the last year, I would say is probably the most difficult YouTube has been ever. And I know people have been YouTube for 10 years, 11 years, and they're like, this is the hardest YouTube has ever been right now. So with that being said, it doesn't matter, right? Because like if you're starting now or if someone's starting now, if you want to be on it, then you have to do it.
Right.
So even if it's the hardest or it's the easiest, like it's just as simple as just doing it. And I think the most important thing on YouTube is just showing your true self, trying to be as much your true self as possible. Because people see what success is on YouTube and like, oh, that guy does that, I'm gonna do that, it'll work for me. But a lot of times, like people's success is based on like, it's genuine from them. Cause like, you could see if you watch enough videos, you'd be like, oh, that person's not real. Like they're trying to be that person or that guy.
Like selling something, I feel like sometimes.
It may work, but it's like, if that's your success is based off of just that, you may have all that success, but when you go to bed at night, like, are you really happy? I don't know. Maybe you are just happy with just having the money, but
not me.
I don't know. I know I wouldn't be.
I'm not.
And I think to really get successful on that platform, you have to show people your true self. And yeah, you have to have like a niche of what you're doing to interest people, to get people in. But you have to talk about your life, because that's what it's come down to. It's like YouTube has become like what reality TV was, I don't know how many years ago when it was really popular. Now it's just YouTube, and people go there to find it because they want to connect with people. So like, that's why brands and things won't be as successful on YouTube, because it's like, unless it's headed by a person, they know that, oh, that's the person who represents that brand, then that brand will only be as successful, I think, as the person that it's being related to. So as long as you're being a person and you're being yourself and whatever content you want to give across, I think that's all it takes. So whether you're 50 or 12, it doesn't matter. You just got to figure out what's important to you. And that's the thing, it has to be genuinely important to you. Because like I said, people will see what works and they'll be like, I'm going to copy that. But you can't keep that up forever. And then you're constantly playing second. You're like, he did, okay, now he's doing that, now I got to do that. Now he's doing that.
You can't chase it, yeah.
As long as this is who you are, you'll be successful on it, yeah.
Cool, last quick question. Where do you see yourself when you're my age, 50 years old? What do you see?
Man, it's so funny. I was talking about this the other day, actually, on a live stream, YouTube live stream. So I went to Houston once and I did a seminar. And like I've done seminars before, but this was the first time where I think like I did a seminar and there was like just a bunch of people just sitting down. And it wasn't really that planned because I didn't know what I was going to say. But I knew I had a mic. And normally, like I remember being younger and having like really bad, which now I don't have anymore. Yeah, not a speech presence, but anxiety of talking in front of people.
Oh, really? Yeah,
it's
normal.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's one of people's like. I was Googling this because I was like,
I was
looking at fear of dying because that's one of mine. So I was like, but people are more fearful of that than they are of dying. I swear,
I believe
it is crazy to me. Anyways,
I used to have fear of people like you because I played football and I was terrified to get my ass kicked.
No good.
That's my number one fear. But go ahead.
So I was sitting there doing the seminar and it was just like I was like, okay, well I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do a Q&A. So I just like, okay, ask me some questions. And then it started going, and as I was doing it, I even said it when I was doing the seminar, which is just a giant Q&A. I was like, wow, this is, because someone asked me a question. They said, how'd you know what you wanted to do? And I didn't.
Right.
The truth is, I had no idea. I didn't know that, I'm gonna grow up and be a fitness guy, and then I'm gonna do Instagram, and I'm gonna do YouTube, and I'm gonna do a podcast, I'm gonna own a gym. I had no idea. But as I started to go along and do things, I was like, whoa, I really enjoy this. I'm gonna do more of this. This is making me really happy. And I'm like, if this is making me really happy, then if someone came and was like, I'm interested in that, I can come from a place of genuineness, like, this is what this is and this is what it is for me, and this is how I make me happy. And other people will be like, can learn from that if they ask. And I could tell it from a place of like, this is real to me.
Right.
And if that's enough for me to be like, hey, it could be real to you if you want it, right? So I realized I was answering his question, and he was like, how do you know like what you wanted to do? And then like, what do you want to keep doing? And it was like the answer was in what my action. So as I was doing it, I was like, and you know what, like doing this, I have the mic in my hand, I'm like doing this seminar, this big Q&A with everyone here, I realized this is making me happy. And I realized how much I love doing that. So at your age, I'm already saying like, I want to start doing this now, but I want to start going around and doing more speaking. And at your age, I would love to like do that. Do more of that. Do more of the podcast. Do more of the stuff that just fucking matters. Because like all this other stuff matters, but like if no one before us, or if you, or if anyone didn't share kind of what they went through, the thought process, how they got there, like I don't know, like humans as a whole, just conglomerate. Like we know everything we know because everyone before us. Period.
Right. History, human nature.
So it's like I want to be a part of that. If I can share what I know to help someone, because I come up from a different perspective of it, then they could see something a little differently, then that's all I want to do. So as I get older, I want to continue to do that. So I want to continue to speak, do seminars, like, and just, honestly, it's just, beyond just this doing the seminar and talking, it's meeting people.
Oh, that's a perfect thing for you. And I started crying the other day. I got introduced at one of my speeches. You know, I got a litany of bullshit awards and all that. And simply they said, this is the CEO that travels around the world helping people. And I emotionally just like, because, you know, I'm 50 years old and that's what I dreamed of. Like, my job is I get to cruise around helping people and
you
inspiring
get paid.
them.
It's
exactly. And
it's
they
like,
put me
else,
up in nice
hotels. What
hotels.
The fuck you need?
Good, exactly. Well, anyway, we're running out of time. We got to do this again.
Yeah.
And
I got to get you on my podcast.
Would love it. The other Bradley and you can hook that up.
Okay.
But I really appreciate you. Bradley Martyn, this is a philosopher, not just a great human being.
Thank you, man.
Huge dude. So maybe you can help me with my fitness as well. It's one of my primary goals.
If you need help, man, I can help you. I appreciate the love.
Bradley Martyn, this is Entrepreneurs, the Playbook.